Hello everyone and welcome to the RNG University. Today is our first Friday episode on Arena, and so because I've shifted all of the card openings to once a week, and I'm going to do that, once a month, and I'm going to do that sparingly to save budget and because Wizards do not care about card quality anymore. Instead, I'm going to do another Arena episode on Friday, and today's episode is going to be Pro Esper. What does that mean? Well, it's Esper Proliferate, and it's got Planeswalkers, and I feel like this deck will be fun to play with. Not to say it's strong, because I'm sure we all know how poisoned we're going to get to become. So here's the deck list. In the early game, we have a lot of removal. We have 4 Cut Down, we have 1 Anoint with Affliction, 2 Go for the Throat, and 2 Shieldred's Edict. There's a lot of removal, and one of which requires 3 poison counter to be an all-around removal. Otherwise, it just exile target creature if its mana has a 3 value less. Right, and it doesn't really work that well with the poison counters in this deck since we don't have that many, which is why we only have 1 off. It's just a temporary hold for I'm deciding between this and the -4/-4 that proliferates. It obviously runs better as a proliferate effect, but this one is a strict removal, which could work. And then we of course have 4 Bankbusters in the 2-drop category. That's always going to be good for card draw for a slower deck. In the 3 drops, we got 3 Reject Perfection, basically counter a spell, and then if it's a small spell, we also get to proliferate. Very good to proliferate our Planeswalkers. 3 Liliana of the Veil to also have removal on board. That is sack instead of target. You can imagine what that's for. And also, each player discard a card to hold up our card advantage against our opponent. Also, for the Raw Priest, I have to remind everyone that it's only when you get targeted by a spell. So you can target it with Planeswalkers, that's fine. I'm just saying that nowadays, forcing opponents to sack is probably better than targeting when there's a lot of impactful creatures on board and a bunch of small creatures that really you need to have a targeted removal for. That's a 3-drop. Now, the reason why I have Liliana in this deck, unlike a lot of the deck lists I found, is because they always have Jace. Jace is kind of a 3-drop, right? It's a 3 plus 1 Phyrexia in blue, so you can pay it for 3 and have it come in as a 3 loyalty, or you can pay 5 or pay 4 and have it come in as 5. And Jace is really good for card draw, but that's about it. And I don't have 3 other Jace in the deck, or in my collection, so I did not craft them. I don't want to go and craft Jace because he's still kind of shaky. I'm not quite sure how good he is. So I'm just going to use Liliana for the time being, which I do have right now. And then the 4-drop, of course, to depopulate, to clean up aggro board, and 4 Wandering Emperor to exile attackers, exile creatures. Just a good card all around in a control meta. And then we have, or a control matchup, I should say. And then we have 2 Memory Deluge for potential card draws down the line that are more targeted. And Memory Deluge is always good, but you don't want too many in your hand because then you get stuck with them. And I always want to point out that this guy's eyeballs is the one deluging. And that's always, every time I see it, it gets a little bit more uncomfortable. Alright, and then we don't have any good 5-drops. Vraska is kind of a 5-drop. You can count it as one because she is 4 plus Phyrexia in black. And then she also proliferates, so that's something, right? She doesn't just tick herself up, she ticks up every other Planeswalker you have. And we got the husband-wife combo here. And then I think, yeah, Jason Vraska is the couple of this set. And we have Farewell, 3 offs. I always say we need 3 off of any Farewell in a control deck because we have a lot of things we want to remove. And Farewell is very versatile. And then we have 1, not Wandering Emperor, the Eternal Wanderer. Same Emperor, but better ability, but costs more. 6 mana Planeswalker. We get to blink something. We get to create a 2/2 double striker, which probably won't ever happen. And then we get the for each player choose a creature that player controls, and then that player sacrifices the rest. That's very good for a board wipe, especially if our opponent has a big board. We get to choose that. They don't choose. Choose a creature that we control, and it's choose so we can go over hexproofs. Not that we want to choose hexproof creatures anyways, but it's definitely a choice that we can make. So that's something. All right, and then we have a 7-drop Planeswalker in Kaya, Intangible Slayer. The only reason why she's in the deck is because I have one. And she's pretty good as an ultimate drop. 7-drop, hexproof, drain your opponent, card draw, and then also exile creatures should that be necessary. Very good in control, but really not good in aggro because she costs way too much. If you can safely land her on a board as a 7-drop, you've probably already won that game. So yeah, that's why Kaya's just the ultimate anti-control card, which in today's meta I don't see a lot of. I see a lot of aggressive decks, so that's why there's only one of her in the deck. Then for the land base, this is something that I don't really recommend you go and craft. Basically take all the dual shock tap lands you have, and also fast lands that just got released, and put them in your deck. And if you can fit it up to 26, you're good. If you can't, fit in some basic lands. That's what I feel. So here's what I have. I have 3 Adarkar Wastes, 4 Deserted Beach, and 1 Seachrome Coast. If I have more Seachrome Coast, I would have added them, but I'm not crafting them. I have 4 Shattered Sanctum in placement of additional Seachrome Coast, because we have a lot of white and blue and some black. So I do want white and black, really. The blue is questionable if we need that many, because we have a lot of blue mana already. So that's why white and black is what I added for Shattered Sanctum. Now there's no fast lands yet, and I don't want too many ping lands because we don't have a lot of ways to gain life in the deck. And then for blue-black, we got Darkslick Shore, 3 Darkslick Shore, 4 Shipwreck Marsh, and 2 Underground River. Those are the ones I have, and that's why they're in the deck. Of course, Esper, so we have Rafine Tower, and Mirrex, just one off if we want to create a toxic creature to toxic our opponent. Otherwise, yeah, it doesn't really do much of anything else. Also, you can remember that Mirrex can be used to add 1 mana of any color on the turn it came into play, which it's something not really relevant, but something you can consider. That's the whole deck. Let's go and try out this deck. Pro Esper. Honestly, I'm expecting just to face a bunch of raw priests, but hopefully that's not what the meta is. Purchasing the Mastery Pass from the store will give you all the rewards from the levels you... something. Probably all the rewards from the level you completed. The Mastery Pass is just... our opponent's Bobo, by the way. It's just so unfortunate. It could have been a way better thing if there's just a pack at every level. But the fact that there isn't really is questionable. Now, this hand, we don't have anything until turn 3. And against an aggro deck, I think we'd lose by then. But we do have 4 lands, so that is what the question whether or not I want to keep. Let's not. We're not going first. Let's get some, fast cards out of the way. We got Darkslick Shores turn 1, and then we have to put in a tap land anyway, so we'll put in the Rafine Tower. So we'll put back the Shipwreck Marsh. Say hi. Ooh, it's the Skrillex. Well, let's get rid of that before he gets to untap. Alright, we get a tap land down. Next turn, we get our Deserted Beach. Jawbone Duelist. Liliana. That creature.
Those who get in my way tend to regret it. Sacrifices must be made.
Now what? Jawbone Duelist again. Venerated Raw Priest. I knew it. Look, I can't target it anymore. What should I do? Oh, I know. Depopulate. I want to discard. I don't think I need a farewell in this deck, so yeah, why not?
Drop it.
Against this deck is what I meant to say. Jawbone Duelist. Huh. Sack creature.
Wipe that smug look off your face. It's no fun when one of your friends has to leave.
I'm not gonna tick up, so I think it's better just to hold my mana. If he doesn't play anything, then I will tick up. Or is it tick down? Tick up. What am I saying? Scar card.
Nobody knows Domini.
Affliction. Exile target creature. Destroy target non-artifact creature. I think all of the creatures are small though, so... Just a land? Huh. Look at that. Mondrak and quit. GG. So yeah, it's a good thing we mulligan until we got a playable hand in the beginning. Otherwise, that would have been ugly. Let's go. That was game 1. That was pretty fun Esper starting play. We got 2 Lilianas for some reason and no other Planeswalker and no card draw or proliferate. But that's... we made it work. Now we're playing against the Green Storm. Isn't that Nahiri? Isn't she, is it? I'm confused. Alright, good old go second. I've gone first maybe once my whole life. So I am dropping the river next turn, so I don't need to drop a tap land that... I don't need to drop the marsh, is what I'm saying. Although, might have been better if I played the Shattered Sanctum, because now I need black. He's got a Harvester. Do I want to make him sack the Harvester? This is not very good. He's going to aggro me next turn, so playing out the Bankbuster really isn't going to help. So, it is what it is. Lots of lands. We have to turn these lands with the Bankbuster into useful cards. And he's got a land. Lucky for our opponent. Anvil. Ow. Liliana's pretty reasonable draw here. Not great, but workable. We are going to have to take another damage.
Happy to help, but I'm...
just sacking a token, it does not feel great, right? But if I don't do it, then he can chain it off his Anvil. So I want to make sure he has no artifact for the Anvil for the time being. I'm not really afraid of him having a research desk, because he already had a research desk. He could have just used that there. Bankbuster. You can't play it. So I don't know what the thought process was there. Let's discard a waste.
Don't overthink things.
And we'll play our Shipwreck Marsh. I could hold up Reject Perfection, and that can help tick up Liliana a little bit. I guess we'll do that. I do want the Bankbuster, but hey, you know what? We all know what's going to happen. Voltage Surge. He's not sacking. Oh, why would he sack, right?
Oh, that's my cue to leave.
I don't want to counter just to save Liliana for one tick. Bankbuster. I do want to counter that. It's kind of a waste to counter it, but it's scary. At least we're draining him out of resources, so if we can hold out a little bit longer, maybe we can turn it all around. Not likely, though. We draw Shieldred's Edict here. That's kind of the cards that we expect to draw, so not looking great. We're not losing, we're just on the back foot. He's not playing these? I would play those. Of Nixless. Well, now we really can't do anything. Sack a Planeswalker, right? So 1 comes in. That's the one with 1. And then this is the one with 3. Alright, now they're both 1. We get to sack a Planeswalker.
Shake down the locals. Go ahead. plead.
And we draw a land, so... I don't think any of this matters. I'm just gonna quit because we're way too far behind against that deck, and we did not get any card draws on. It's not that we're gonna lose next turn, but this game is not gonna pan out well, and I don't want to waste everyone's time. The Domini are mysterious cosmic beings that became sentient as the Phyrexian completed a terrain of Maraudon. I didn't even know that was a thing. And I follow Maraudon. Sayaron? No way. What does this mean? Joe? Fires? I don't know what that means, but should I mulligan? Hi. Hey, why did our opponent play anything on their turn 1? It must be a terrible player. Alright, mirror match. Maybe. It's probably an Esper aggro deck, because that's all that everyone plays. No? Well, that's surprising, but he's only got 2 mana, makes me not want to play into his counterspell. So I'm just going to drop another Rafine Tower. If he plays a Rafine... Oh no, I can't get him with that. Wow. He's not going to play anything? I'm not going to play anything. 2 can play that chicken game. I'm getting land drops every turn, so... Eventually something's going to happen. No Emperor? Huh. He's afraid of a counterspell too. Wedding announcement. There we go. Now he has cards. Alright, if you have wedding announcement out, should I have Jace out? Well, hold on. Let me play the land that's actually mana efficient. If I had played Jace out, I just make it a little bit weaker. I can't really mill him. He has a lot of cards. Vraska, on the other hand, gives me another card. Then he'll attack it. It's fine.
Death is obsolete. Patience. We will win.
What does this do? Whenever... At the beginning of your end step, put an invitation counter on wedding announcement. If you attack with 2 or more, okay, so I can take out one of his creatures. There. Now we're on 2. Enjoy your 2/2 next turn, but it's all you're gonna get. Sword. That's interesting.
For the sake of all Innistrad, my will must obey you.
Oh, look at depopulate. So I can depopulate. I have exactly 7 mana. Right? I need to make sure I play this right. Depopulate your whole board. Okay, and then Jace. I need to pay with the Phyrexian.
I'll take note of all your failures.
Mill 3. Go, mill. Lands. I think you might need those lands. Proliferate.
The downtrodden rise together.
Wait, I do want this. That's how it works, right? I think so. Alright, 2 and 7. I can make you get 9 poison counters in 1 turn. That's pretty sick. A Murex.
Blood
Okay.
for knowledge. A fair trade.
Does he want to use that to create a little minion? She'll just eat it. Well, there goes Jace. Does he have another Shieldress Edict? Another wedding announcement. I guess his first proliferate.
Phyrexia spreads.
It's the only thing I want to proliferate out. This is a terrible hand to hold. Let's play the Shatter Sanctum. I wonder if the right play here is Farewell. Just to make sure our opponent is not scared of whatever we have. Right, so let's take out all creatures, all enchantments, all graveyards. What about artifacts? Artifacts I care? No, artifacts here. Everything, gone. Planeswalker versus Planeswalker. Another wedding announcement.
You
Cool.
fight for me now.
It's a lot of wedding announcements our opponent's drawing. Let's cut this down. Maybe you have a counter spell? Nope. Soren's on 1. This is on 1. My turn. Ooh, Emperor. That's a good draw. Alright, let's put our tap lands. Should have draw first. Always draw first, guys.
Patience. Or you
Just
will
submit
win.
1. Yeah. Let's put the Bankbuster out. This could be useful. But then we can hold up Emperor and also cut down if we need to. The board's not too scary here. Should I cut down in response? No. That can't be right. Wedding announcement again.
You wish to know my secrets? Very well.
We'll cut it down. Don't want to play Emperor into a 6 mana. Sunset Rivalry. Okay, you can do that. What is that for? I don't understand. He has more cards, more life, and we have the same amount of creatures. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to have the oops thing. This thing. Pass to end. Alright, let me draw a card. Land. Resolve, resolve. My turn. Go for the throat. Should I give him 9 poison counters? Nah. Let's just keep going because I'm greedy. Alright, waste. Draw first! Draw first. I'm gonna keep forgetting. Ooh, and a counter spell. That's interesting. Alright, let's just proliferate the 2. There was a choice to not proliferate the Bankbuster there, but I got a chance. I might as well do it. Alright, he's got 1 mana open, which means that I can farewell this whole board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and enough for the next counter spell. So let's exile all creatures, all enchantments, all graveyards again, but we'll keep the artifact, so we'll keep the Bankbuster. And we'll enter. Look at the top. What are you gonna get? A swamp.
Blood
7
for
mana.
knowledge, a fair trade.
Is it though? Vraska. Kaya? No. PG. I was gonna Kaya you, but I didn't draw it. You drew it. But we won. That's all that mattered. Alright, so that's my Friday game. Was it best 2 out of 3? It's not that bad. The deck itself, I think, is quite fun. Let's look at the Esper Proliferate deck. It really does, depending on the play style. And it's definitely a slower control style. So something that not a lot of people are in favor of. I would say, especially when you see the arena. It does require you to play on a more controlly sort of environment. Maybe not smartphone on a toilet. That's going to be hard. Alright, so the way the deck works is you have to really understand Proliferate. You have to really understand sort of the advantage you can get. Some of the things that I did not do well, I can easily tell from the last game. I should not proliferate the Bankbuster on one of the turns. I feel like getting Bankbuster down to 1 is pretty good, but it is definitely something to consider, right? You get additional card draw from Bankbuster, but you don't get that attack bonus eventually that you get a chance to. And I think at that game I have enough card advantage that I should try to get Bankbuster down to 1. Or down to 0, honestly. 3 Liliana versus more Jace. I feel like more Jace probably is better, but Liliana did give us a lot of removal on creatures that Jace couldn't have. Jace is just temporarily -3. The thing about Jace, though, I feel like a lot of people might be inclined to do is keep ticking him up. The trick with Jace, I feel, is keep ticking him down, right? It's about -2 to draw a card, and if you're lucky, you might be able to draw 3. The thing is, you need to draw a card with Jace for Jace to be relevant as a 3-mana spell, at the very least. You don't want to play him, give him -3, -0, and just have him get killed. Then, in those situations, you just wasted all your mana, and your big Planeswalker drops. So, Jace is not the olden Jace where you can plus him and draw a card. That was too good of a Jace, apparently. And then, the trick with Vraska is always about getting to the Proliferate, right? She is good at ticking up all of your other Planeswalkers. So she works really well with other Planeswalkers by herself. It's really just draw a card, lose a life. And in that sense, she's not as great. In that very controlling game, we would have won, right? We would have gotten our opponent to 9 poison and then win. But I don't really understand why Vraska isn't just 10 poison counter altogether. -9 should be like... make it -10, 10 poison counter. That would be your target opponent lose the game. We can do that. It's fine. And also, she does kill her opponent. You can use her to kill your opponent with a -9 on one turn, and then the 0 again the turn after, because you can proliferate that poison counter. So that kind of works, but that's a 2-turn play, right? And I would say that Kaya, I don't even know how good she is. She never came out, but in her position, we could play another Vraska, and it probably work just as well. She has hexproof, so in that very controlling meta, you might be able to get that to work. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The Wandering Emperor is a flicker effect. The flicker won't really affect much, other than maybe getting the Bankbuster back to 0, or getting another one of your opponent's token out of the way. All these removals are necessary because of all the aggro decks, and then the Reject Imperfection did get us some games against a control deck. So I would say this card is pretty useful. That's all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me on this Friday RNG arena play, and I'll see you guys next time.